I wanted to talk to you about classic hip hop albums, and one of the albums I'm going to mention, um, I think is really, really underrated. And from what I remember, it wasn't that much of a, besides the single, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, the album as a whole wasn't really, back then, wasn't really successful. And I remember I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and um, 90s hip hop to me is one of my favorite genres ever. I still listen to 90s hip hop, among other things, but as far as hip hop is concerned, that's typically what I go to on a personal level. Um, it's what I enjoy. So, one of my, there's so many artists from that era. Public Enemy, um, there's so many. So to mention, LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, I can go on and on and on. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this particular album, I am going to be making other videos dedicating it to classic 90s, late 80s hip hop. But this album is underrated because I really enjoyed it as soon as it came out. Kid and Play were one of my favorite are one of my favorite hip hop artists from the 90s because I love NWA, I love Public Enemy. The socially conscious lyrics from that era were and still are super important. But Kid and Play, the reason why I listen to all the other hip hop groups, East Coast, West Coast, but Kid and Play based from the East Coast, taught us that even though all this crap sadly was going on, that we were still able to have fun. Okay, so through their movies, through their music, they knew, even though they do have some socially conscious songs, lyrics, but most of their music and their movies were just about having fun. To, okay, we know what's going on over here, but let's have a good time. We need to keep it positive as well. So this album, Face the Nation, let me take this off here, came out September 24th, 1991. I remember the day it came out. I went to go pick it up. I had it on cassette. Then later on, I bought it on CD and then on vinyl as well. The main, I think the only single was "Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody" that came out in. That's their most famous single from this album and from their career, I would say. It was from House Party 2, the movie. The soundtrack to House Party 2 came out about a month later, which was great soundtracks. One of my favorite soundtracks from that era, from the 90s. The movie came out about a month after this, so they were promoting the movie and promoting their music. The movie came out, loved the movie. Let me show you the back here. It was produced by Herbie, of course, as usual, from most of their albums. And the songs, my favorites from here are the Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. That one's classic, it's fun, brings positive energy, positive lyrics. It's just about having a good time. And I love the part in House Party 2 where they're actually performing it. That was one of the best parts of the movie. Love that movie. Play produced a couple of tracks here, such as Give It Here. There's a couple of tracks here produced by Pete Rock as well. So the album is good. If you love 90s hip hop, take a listen to this one if you haven't already. Very cool album. Very, very cool. And I have the single right over here. Sorry for the glare. I just once again love Kid and Play, what they rapped about. I consider them classic. They're legends. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube showing them perform at the Apollo, on Arsenio. Just their dance moves, legendary. And yeah, so I would highly recommend checking that album out and their movies. House Party 1 and 2. And Class Act, definite classics. Very, very, very cool duo with true talent. So once again, Kid and Play, Face the Nation.